Well, a key part of Premier's strategy is an increased focus on online retailing, and not a moment too soon. Australians will spend more than $13.6 billion online in 2011, an increase of over 13% on last year's $12 billion, according to new research by PwC and Frost & Sullivan. And what's more, 44% of these online retail sales will be spent with offshore online retailers, up from 40% in 2010. Well, I'm joined now from Melbourne by Stuart Harker, who's partner of global retail at PwC. Stuart, welcome to the programme.
Good evening.
Now, as I said in the introduction, online shopping to increase 13% from 2010. What's that in terms of the overall total retail spend in Australia?
Yes, that's about 5.5% of the total market in Australia, and as you said, it's 44% of the total space, and it's gone up from 4.8 to 6 billion of offshore purchases in the last 12 months, and the consumers have really started to embrace this channel, but not just offshore but as well as online.
How does that compare to other countries like the UK and the US?
Well, in the US it's around 7%, in the UK it's about 9%, so we've still got a way to go, but the Australians have started to embrace the online in the last 12 to 18 months quite substantially.
I got a brochure just last week through my front door from Next, which is a British fashion retailer. Is that how the offshore online retailers are accessing us through drops through the front door?
No, I don't think so. I think the Australian, from our research, we've found that most of the consumers in our survey were shopping online, and in fact 95% were searching online prior to buying either in store or on a pure online channel. So they're actually researching, checking prices, checking across all the channels that they can today to actually find the best value for them. And the consumers today are looking for a value proposition. They're looking for, and what we found in the research, that there were three main reasons. One was around price, one was around range, and one was around convenience. They were the big drivers, and people were accessing that through multiple channels.
And you actually talk about a structural shift in consumer spending that this is causing.
Well, I think that what we're seeing that consumers are looking for multiple channels. It's not the traditional store, bricks and mortar stores are going to move out of existence. But what in fact is happening is that you've got a different model emerging, one that actually embraces the store, one that's actually involving an online channel, but you've also got other channels such as mobile commerce, you've got Facebook commerce, where people are using multiple channels to either engage directly with the retailer or via another social media. So the customer engagement and the stores are what we're seeing is a new model emerging in the last 12 to 18 months.
How serious is this for our own retail sales growth? I mean, do these numbers actually suggest that going forward that the online can make quite a dent in retail sales growth?
Well, as we said in the survey, that the online growth is going to be over twice as fast as the traditional store growth. But as we've seen overseas, they actually work hand in hand very well. So consumers like to shop online, they also like to shop in stores. What the retailers need to do, and we're seeing it at the moment, the retailers are improving their customer value proposition in the stores, and also their technology around the channels to market, such as their online channels getting better and better. Their access and the way they're engaging with customers via social media is starting to give them the same competitive value proposition. And what we've looked at from overseas is that in the UK, which is a much more mature market, they actually work very well together, and it hasn't been the demise of any of those retailers. They actually just work very well together, and the consumer actually expects it today to have those multiple channels and multiple options as the market evolves.
Why then do you think Australia has been so slow off the mark in developing its online retail?
I just don't think up until about 18 months ago, the consumers weren't engaged, and I think when the GFC came, there was a number of things that sort of almost like a perfect storm. You had a strengthening dollar, you had an improved awareness of what you could buy offshore. You've got a very much an improved supply chain where you can get a product anywhere around the world within a week into Australia, and you've got very good propositions coming off. And I think until all that came in the last 12 months, then people were looking for it. the Australian retailers didn't have really a coherent proposition online. But what we've seen now is that the retailers really in Australia, from the Wesfarmers Group, the Woolworths Group, Just Premier Group, Suzanne Group, they've all got very, very strong propositions and improving all the time, including Myer and the rest of them. So I think we've just been a little slow, but that's really moved on in the last 12 to 18 months. So actually we're getting better and better on that as we go forward.
Stuart Harker, I thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.